What's up, everyone? It's no secret that in recent installments, Kong has been stealing almost all the thunder. However, several leaks have just surfaced indicating a major narrative shift, suggesting that Godzilla is ready to return as the absolute protagonist of the story. We're no longer talking about Godzilla as a mere force of nature or an ally who shows up at the last minute. This time, everything points to the plot revolving entirely around him. According to the chatter, everything will connect directly to that massive atomic breath blast he fired into deep space during the events of the new empire. It was an act that seemingly had unforeseen consequences, a signal to the universe that Earth's titans are ready for a much more advanced form of warfare. Additionally, leaks indicate that Legendary Pictures is setting the stage for a massive event, one that many are already comparing to a kaiju infinity war. We are at the dawn of a saga that promises to change the rules of the game, pitting our titans against a cosmic-level threat we never imagined seeing on the big screen. Today, we're going to break down exactly what this means for the future of the franchise. So, without further ado, let's get into it. To start off, it's vital to keep things crystal clear. A large part of these details comes from a viral thread on Twitter from an account known as Neb's Good Takes, who claims to have a contact present at one of the film's first test screenings. I probably don't need to remind you that these screenings are done with half-finished visual effects and scenes that could still be edited or even scrapped entirely. So while Neb has a solid reputation in the community, none of this is set in stone, at least not until we see the first official trailer. That said, let's get down to business. According to the leaks, Space Godzilla won't just be a Godzilla with crystals. Instead, he'll have a design that honors the classic Heisei-era version, maintaining that massive build, broad shoulders, and heavy legs that make him look imposing, but with a modern twist. Word is, the crystals on his shoulders are slightly smaller to allow for much more agile and aggressive movement, moving away from the stiffness of the original character. From a technical standpoint, handling these crystalline surfaces is a brutal rendering challenge. We're talking about light refraction and particle management that would push CGI to a level of complexity we haven't seen in the franchise yet. Sources indicate his purpose is one of the most interesting parts because it completely shifts the scale of the conflict. Space Godzilla isn't the final boss. He's being described as a herald, a titan created or sent by a much more powerful entity to pave the way.
Personally, I'm pretty skeptical about all of this. It feels more like a wish list than reality. Starting with the fact that if they're going to show Space Godzilla, are they really going to put him in with that much detail in an early test screening? I don't know, it feels weird. The other thing is that they aren't just revealing Space Godzilla, but something even stronger behind him? What kind of test screening is this? They haven't even finished signing the rights papers with Toho, and they're already putting a more fire villain right on his heels? I have my doubts. Now check this out. If Space Godzilla seemed like a lot, buckle up because things are about to get insane. The leaks are doubling down. According to the rumors, this new enemy isn't just fighting for territory. We're talking about a massive entity that uses tentacles and crystals to corrupt other titans and open portals across the universe. Its method of invasion would basically be infecting every world it touches. As for Kong, even though he's taking a back seat narratively, he's not going to be sitting on the sidelines. Word is he'll receive a mech suit or a full suit of armor to keep up with this new scale of combat. Godzilla, on the other hand, doesn't just return as the central axis. He recovers that great protector personality we saw in the 2014 and 2019 films. He's no longer that aggressive monster just attacking anything that moves. Here, he's presented as humanity's ultimate line of defense. Also, it's mentioned he'll continue using his evolved form, though not a white one, but with major visual tweaks, likely looking for a more refined design, or just to justify the new toy line. Personally, the Kong mech suit gives me pause. I get wanting to sell action figures, but full-on armor in a MonsterVerse movie can be a double-edged sword if not handled carefully. I'd be more on board with an evolution of the Beast Club. And as for a Galactus of the MonsterVerse, I'm not buying it. I'm not a fan of that idea. But I don't know, what do you guys think?
In all this info floating around, there's also data on what we supposedly won't see. According to these leaks, if you are hoping to see Mothra or Rodan again, they're both out of this installment. There's also no trace of a Godzilla Jr. or any offspring, something many of us took for granted to give his story more emotional weight. Even characters we already know, like Zuko and Shimo, will have very limited screen time, making it clear the focus is on the main fight. On the human side, it looks like we'll have Delroy Lindo as the new head of Monarch. This casting, combined with the project being registered under the codename Zeus on the WGA site, indicates that Legendary is moving very real administrative pieces for a massive project. Plus, they say the human script has improved a ton compared to the new Empire. One thing that caught my eye was the mention of the film's ending. It's rumored to end on a massive cliffhanger, a finale that leaves the door wide open for an immediate sequel. Basically, they're treating this movie as the start of a war on a much larger scale. Alright, from everything I've read, this is what connects with previous leaks, and honestly, it gets me thinking. If you add up the name registries, the Delroy Lindo casting, and this Infinity War vibe, the pieces start falling into place in a very specific way. This leads me to a conclusion I want to share with you. I think Legendary might be preparing a back-to-back mega event of 2 movies. It would be a masterstroke to close this phase with a massive cosmic conflict and then let the Monsterverse rest for a few years. It's a logical strategy. Go out on top, leave people wanting more, and avoid burning out the formula. If Supernova ends on that cliffhanger, it's almost certain the next movie will be filmed very soon to give us the grand finale of this war. But hey, at the end of the day, this is still speculation territory. What is certain is that the hype is through the roof, and Godzilla seems to be reclaiming the throne he should never have let go of. What do you guys think? Does this 2-movie mega event theory make sense to you? Or do you feel Legendary is taking too much of a risk with this shift in scale? Let me know in the comments. And remember, if you want to keep receiving unique and interesting content, just hit that subscribe button. I am Cyber, and this is the CyberZone, so I'll see you in the next video.